Hey everybody, my name is Brian Giles. I am excited and honored to be able to give this ophthalmology lecture to the ACOS and to present at your conference this year. I'm excited to showcase ophthalmology because I think it's one of the greatest fields of medicine you can go into. And I hope that by the end of this presentation, you will too. The title of my presentation is called Near Daily Occurrence because this is literally a conversation I have almost daily with my patients. So in ophthalmology, we love pictures. Everything we get to treat and see is right in front of us. So to better introduce myself and my experience in ophthalmology, I flipped through some pictures the last 2 weeks with my family. Here we have our bi-monthly glamping trip in our RV. Here's my Tuesday night pickleball partner, my little daughter Paisley. Here's the pumpkin patch we went to this last weekend. Also about a week ago, number 4 decided to go jump off the table. This was about 5 days ago, wake surfing with number 4. And we have number 5 on the way. And oftentimes my awesome patients start to feel like my own family too. All right, so we'll get started here. I have no financial disclosures, and being part of the military, I have this obligatory statement that these views represent my own opinion and do not represent the US Army or the Department of Defense. So what's neat about ophthalmology is literally every single one of our notes I can fit on a Postit note. So I know everyone else's cases is going through probably a longer description. We don't really like that, and I don't really have time for that. So here's my Postit note right here of my entire patient. So what we have is a 76-year-old male who complained of blurry vision in both eyes, affecting his activities of daily living. He has a past medical history of congenital cataract in his right eye. Instead of asking his big long med list and how they interact with everything, I really only care about his prostate medication and maybe 1 or 2 other medications for cataract surgery. His vision in his right eye is 20/80 with no improvement with pinhole, 20/60 in the left eye. His BAT test, meaning when we shine a bright light in his eye, he goes to 2300 in the right eye and 2150. His pressures are normal and he's right eye dominant. Basically, his exam is only remarkable for cataracts in both eyes and a posterior polar cataract in the right eye. The back of his eye, or DFU, is normal. So besides the fact that he had a congenital cataract, this is pretty much a patient we see daily. Okay, so we're about to watch a cataract video, and for those of you who've never got to see a cataract, who'll probably never see cataract videos again, I want to give you an explanation of what you're about to see. I explain cataracts to my patients like being a peanut M&M. So we have the outer shell called the capsule, then we have the chocolate and the peanut. So what you're gonna see here is first me entering into the eye. Next you'll see a small circle being created at the top of the skin of that capsule. It's kind of like peeling the skin off of a grape with forceps. Next picture is sucking out the peanut and then removing the rest of the chocolate, and then finally putting in a new lens. Okay, so next we're gonna watch clips from my last 10 cataracts that I did. This is the initial insertion into the eye so that we can put some jelly in the eye and then we can numb up the eye with some lidocaine. This next step right here is filling the eye with the jelly so that when we go in with a bigger knife, it doesn't collapse on us. And here we enter the eye with a bigger knife so we can use larger instruments in the eye. All right, so this step is called the capsule rhexis. We make a small little mark in the anterior capsule and basically peel it around in a circle as best we can. If you want to try this at home, grab some forceps, poke a hole in the top of a grape, and try making a perfect circle out of it. So this next step is basically shooting water or BSS, either between the shell and the chocolate or between the shell and the peanut. That allows it to rotate more freely. All right, so this is the fun part. This is called chopping, where we literally take that peanut and chop it in half. And then sometimes we chop it into little smaller pieces called quadrants. Once it's chopped into smaller pieces, we can then use our fancy machine and suck it out. So what's fun and interesting about cataract surgery is that we are basically in Oregon 95% of the time. The majority of that time, I'm using at least 3 extremities, sometimes all 4 extremities at the same time. After we take the chocolate and the peanut out, we go through and remove the last little strands of chocolate that are hanging around. That's called cortex. All right, here comes the money shot. This is the new intraocular lens that we place. Folds like a taco and opens right up in the eye and allows patients to see again. You'll notice there's 2 little arms. Those arms help suspend the new lens in that peanut shell or that capsule. And last, we hydrate or squirt water into the wounds and it seals them shut. So in summary, I absolutely love ophthalmology. It is such an experience to change people's lives, honestly, forever. A couple other cool things. So there are no hospital rounds. Well, in residency there are. We're attached to level 1 trauma, so there's definitely hospital rounds for us. But typically, most attendings there's no hospital rounds. As you could tell, very short notes, and most of the time we write in our own little hieroglyphics that only other ophthalmologists can read. Before I started ophthalmology, I remember listening to a panel of program directors talking about their experience within their subspecialty fields. And one guy's advice was, if you want to know what life is like in that specialty, look at the residents. They then proceeded to say, well, I work this hard and I do this, this many cases and I work this many hours. And the next guy got up and said, well, I work even harder and I work even more hours. And then my program director in ophthalmology stood up there and said, I completely disagree. Instead of looking at the life of the fellows and residents, you should look at the life of the attending staff. And I remember distinctly when he said, I am going home at 3 o'clock today and I'm going to teach my kids' t-ball team. And that super appealed to me. I'm like, I'm glad I'm following that guy. And so within ophthalmology, there's opportunities for obviously like amazing pay. Everyone knows that. But amazing hours too, to really get to be a family guy or family gal, and to really prioritize my family. So one of the things that really interested me in ophthalmology and gets me excited about my future is the opportunity to do mission trips and humanitarian aid. That truly does merit an entire discussion, entire lecture by itself. But within ophthalmology, we have the opportunity to go into small cities or into countries and literally change the lives of an entire population pretty quickly and pretty drastically doing cataracts. As you're about to see with the patient that I presented at the beginning, these guys love you. They really do. You give them a gift of sight, something that that we take for granted, being young, healthy people. But these older patients have no idea what they're missing until we give them that gift of sight back. And finally, like I said, just a few short minutes and people's lives are changed, and it definitely leaves an impact on you as a surgeon, and definitely a lasting impact on your patients. So that's all I want to say, but I want to leave the last few minutes to let two of my patients tell you their experience within cataract surgery, and the last guy to tell you why you should go into ophthalmology, and I wholeheartedly agree with them. When I told this next patient about the lecture I was going to give, he wanted to share his advice with you guys. What's not shown in this video is right before we started filming, he asked if we could say a prayer, and he blessed me and my family. And then after the camera stopped rolling, he proceeded to cry for about 5 minutes, thanking me, and yeah, it's pretty amazing. All right, sir. So this is day one. We just did your right eye, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's hear it.
Oh my God! I'm so excited. I can actually see. I can see everything. It's exciting. It made me cry when I first was able to see. Oh my God! It's a beautiful thing. You don't even understand how I feel. I've had so much problem with my eyes, and now I can see. I'm so excited.
How long has it been since you haven't been able to see?
Well, I don't know, maybe I've been trying to get the surgery for about 1.5 years now, and it's been about 1 year since before I started doing the surgery, that everything is a blur. I mean, the last time I got glasses, I think they couldn't do any better prescription, and even with those prescriptions, everything was still blurry. And so it's been a while since I've actually, I can see. I can read this stuff. It's incredible.
So before surgery, you were 20/80. Okay. Today you're 20/20 though.
It's so cool. Thank you
You're
so very much.
Absolutely.
It's a blessing. My goodness. Oh, I can't say anything. I'm overwhelmed. I can't describe. I mean, I can see. I see everything. I think I felt better than before I went bad. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it, sir. So we're going to get that second eye done as fast as we can. Is that okay with you?
Yeah. Tomorrow?
Tomorrow? not tomorrow, but okay. We'll do it as soon as we can. So.
Okay. I understand that most of you who are watching my presentation, and I apologize for the lack of quality, but it is sincere. You wouldn't be medical students if you weren't looking to leave this world better when you leave it. So I think going into ophthalmology and serving the growing number of people who have cataracts and need this surgery is a wonderful choice for you. I highly recommend it. You won't regret it, because your patients are going to be so grateful for what you've done for them.